This is Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network, and this is a breaking news alert. Liz Cheney, the congresswoman from Wyoming, who has chaired the January 6th committee courageously, has officially conceded in the Republican primary to her opponent, radical right extremist Harriet Hageman. Let's listen in to a portion of Liz Cheney's concession speech.
2 years ago, I won this primary with 73% of the vote. I could easily have done the same again. The path was clear. But it would have required that I go along with President Trump's lie about the 2020 election. It would have required that I enable his ongoing efforts to unravel our democratic system and attack the foundations of our republic. That was a path I could not and would not take.
So the individual who Liz Cheney was defeated by was somebody by the name of Harriet Hageman. To get a sample of who Harriet Hageman is and the type of radical extremist things Harriet Hageman says, let's play this clip.
Joe Biden is the largest or the most destructive human trafficker in our history.
So that's Harriet Hageman. That's what it takes to be a Republican in 2022. And in the speech, Liz Cheney conceding, she acknowledges the defeat. Let's play the clip where she talks about Harriet Hageman having won this primary. Play the clip.
Our republic relies upon the goodwill of all candidates for office to accept honorably the outcome of elections. And tonight, Harriet Hageman has received the most votes in this primary. She won. I called her to concede the race. This primary election is over, but now the real work begins.
And just so you all remember the Wyoming debate, so you can see the difference between Liz Cheney, who represents pro-democracy, and these radical right extremists who represent incompetence, destruction, anti-American values. Just play this video clip. And this is not an SNL skit. This is actually the Republican debate in Wyoming. Play the clip.
We're going to go to what we call a lightning round.
January 6th
was a setup from the beginning. We cannot have actual, anyway.
What we saw happen on January 6th was clearly an attempt to delay the count of the electoral votes.
Coronavirus vaccine policy.
They knew Fauci had awards for his work in cytokines.
Mr. Fauci is one of the most corrupt individuals in Washington, D.C.
We are to oppose any vaccines.
Everybody ought to get vaccinated, and we need to do everything we can to protect ourselves from future viruses.
Wyoming residents' faith in the election process.
I understand when I talked to Mike Lindell, he did say that there was a small portion of voter fraud in this state, but that is alarming.
What about Facebook using the system to steer people? We know for a fact all the major internets do that.
The 2000 Mules movie is something that I think we have great concern about.
voting machines that are suspected fraud.
There are politicians in this country, beginning with Donald Trump, who have lied to the American people. He consistently has said that the election was stolen when it wasn't.
Ukraine is corrupt. We started it. We got involved. We pushed them into being against the Russian government.
Money laundering. I think that's the biggest ticket for Ukraine's and the Biden administration.
It's the front line in the battle for freedom. And I think we've got to elect serious leaders.
In her concession speech, Liz Cheney directly addresses the recent search warrant executed on Mar-a-Lago, showing yet again it is another big lie being stoked by Donald Trump in response to the search warrant to try to stoke more violence. Play the clip.
As of last week, you must also believe that 30 career FBI agents who have spent their lives working to serve our country abandoned their honor and their oaths and went to Mar-a-Lago not to perform a lawful search or address a national security threat, but instead with a secret plan to plant fake incriminating documents in the boxes they seized. This is yet another insidious lie. Donald Trump knows that voicing these conspiracies will provoke violence and threats of violence. This happened on January 6th, and it's now happening again. It is entirely foreseeable that the violence will escalate further. Yet he and others continue, purposely, to feed the danger. Today, our federal law enforcement is being threatened. A federal judge is being threatened. Fresh threats of violence are arising everywhere. And despite knowing all of this, Donald Trump recently released the names of the FBI agents involved in the search. That was purposeful and malicious. No patriotic American should excuse these threats or be intimidated by them. Our great nation must not be ruled by a mob provoked over social media.
And finally, Liz Cheney talks about her role on the January 6th committee. Let's play that clip and the position that Liz Cheney took, knowing that she would likely not get elected again in the Republican primary in Wyoming, knowing that the Republicans have gone full fascist, but knowing that ultimately her duty is to the country. Let's play this clip.
I have said since January 6th that I will do whatever it takes to ensure Donald Trump is never again anywhere near the Oval Office, and I mean it. This is a fight for all of us together. I'm a conservative Republican. I believe deeply in the principles and the ideals on which my party was founded. I love its history, and I love what our party has stood for. But I love my country more. So I ask you tonight to join me. As we leave here, let us resolve that we will stand together, Republicans, Democrats, and Independents, against those who would destroy our republic. They are angry and they are determined, but they have not seen anything like the power of Americans united in defense of our Constitution and committed to the cause of freedom. There is no greater power on this earth, and with God's help, we will prevail. Thank you all. God bless you. God bless Wyoming. God bless the United States of America. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Liz Cheney and I can have various disagreements over policy, but what we will always agree upon fundamentally is that our democracy is something that is worth fighting for. This is Ben Meiselas with a MeidasTouch breaking news alert. Please make sure to hit the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button right now. That's how you can support independent media, and let's fight back against radical right extremism.
Hey, this is Jordy, co-founder of MeidasTouch. Person, woman, man, camera, prison. MeidasTouch just came out with a brand new t-shirt with this perfect message. Make sure you check out store.meidastouch.com. That's store.meidastouch.com and grab yours today. Thank you.